All right, let's talk dating. Feeling a little burned out? I get it. For so long, the advice has been all about spotting red flags. But today, we're flipping the script. We're going to talk about green flags, all the good stuff, the positive signs that tell you a connection might actually have a future. So let's dive into what a great relationship could look like in 2026. You know the feeling, right? You're swiping through these perfectly curated, almost too perfect profiles, and it just feels exhausting. You find yourself second-guessing every text, every little sign, because you're terrified of making the same mistakes all over again. It's a real anxiety. But here's the good news. Something is definitely starting to change. And that shift, it's all about authenticity. Get this, a huge survey from Plenty of Fish found that 1 in 4 singles are doing this thing called Truecasting. Basically, it just means they're showing up as their real, genuine selves from day one. People are they're so over the performance of it all. They want something real.
Okay, so how do we actually find these real connections? Well, it all starts with a change in perspective. I mean, for years, all we've heard about is look for the red flags, the big warning signs. But what if we started looking for the opposite? That's what we're doing today. We're hunting for green flags, those positive signs that tell you, hey, you're heading in the right direction.
The easiest way to think about it is like a traffic light, right? A red flag means stop, danger ahead. But a green flag, that means go. It's a clear signal that you're seeing healthy behavior, real compatibility. It's a sign that it's safe to keep moving forward and see where this goes.
And this really gets to the heart of it. Instead of constantly being on high alert, just scanning for what could go wrong, that's the red flag mindset, we're teaching ourselves to spot what could go right. It's a total shift, really. We're moving from a place of fear to a place of hope.
All right, let's get into the good stuff. What are these green flags exactly? We've looked at the research and boiled it down to some really key signs, and we've put them into 3 main buckets. Seriously, think of this next part as your personal toolkit for spotting healthy connections.
First up, we're starting with the absolute non-negotiables. The foundation of any good relationship: safety and respect. These first few flags are all about how you physically and emotionally feel when you're with them. Can you actually relax? Can you let your guard down and just be you? Psychologist Dr. Jenny Wang absolutely nails this. She asks, does your body feel relaxed and calm in their presence? That's it. That's the first and maybe the most important green flag. They make you feel safe enough to be your authentic self. So really pay attention to your body. Are your shoulders tense? Or are you breathing easy? Your gut often picks up on things way before your brain does, and that feeling of safety, that's where all trust begins. And right alongside that feeling of safety is respect for your boundaries. This one is huge. When you say no, or even just, hey, not yet, what happens? How do they react? A major green flag is someone who just accepts it gracefully. No pushback, no pressure, no trying to make you feel guilty. It's a crystal clear sign that they respect you as a person, not just what they can get from you. Okay, so once that foundation of safety and respect is there, you can actually start building a real connection. And that brings us to our next category of green flags, everything to do with communication. We're talking about how you listen, how you talk to each other, and how you handle those inevitable disagreements. You can spot a good communicator by what they do, not just what they say. It's not just that they hear your words, they actually listen. They remember that little story you told them last week. And hey, pay attention to how they talk about other people, especially their exes. Is it all blame and bitterness, or is there a level of respect? And this is a big one. When you disagree, are they trying to win the argument, or are they trying to solve the problem with you? Huge difference. All right, our last group of green flags goes a bit deeper. We're talking about growth and authenticity. This is the stuff that takes a connection from just being good to being a truly great partnership. You know, the kind that actually helps both of you become better people? There's actually a really cool psychological idea for this called the Michelangelo phenomenon. Think about it. Michelangelo saw the statue inside the block of marble. The idea here is that the best partners help sculpt you into your best self. They don't try to change you, but they support your growth and help bring out the person you want to be. It's a great gut check. Do you like the person you are when you're around them? And this idea of being your best self brings us full circle, back to that trend we talked about at the beginning, Truecasting. This is maybe the most important green flag for right now. It's when someone just shows up as they are, from the very start. They're open about their quirks, their flaws, and what they're actually looking for. No games, no masks, just them.
And believe me, this isn't just some small trend. The data is pretty clear. This is what most people desperately want. Research from Tinder found that a huge 64% of daters, that's almost 2/3, say emotional honesty is the #1 thing dating needs more of. It makes sense, right? When someone is real with you from the get-go, you're building a foundation on actual trust, not just a performance.
Okay, so now we know what green flags look like. But what do we do with that information? How do we actually use this in the real world of dating? Let's switch gears from theory to a straight-up action plan. Here's your 5-step game plan. First, make it your own. Figure out which of these flags are your personal non-negotiables. Second, give it a little time. Experts say real chemistry can take like 3 to 5 dates to really show itself, so don't rush it. Third, always trust your gut. Your physical reactions are telling you something. Fourth, look for patterns of good behavior, not just one big fancy gesture. Consistency is key. And finally, don't be afraid to say what you need early on. The right person for you is going to listen.
You know, when you start using a framework like this, it can feel like a total reset for your dating life. It's all about being more intentional, more hopeful, and basically giving yourself a clean slate as we look ahead.
And if you're feeling this way, you are in very good company. A recent study showed that 71%, that's nearly 3/4, of Gen Z and millennials see 2026 as a chance to totally reinvent how they date. There's this huge collective feeling of wanting to get past the burnout and find something real.
It really comes down to what clinical psychologist Dr. Miriam Kermeyer says: finding a healthy relationship has to start with looking inward. It's about taking a minute to check in with yourself and figure out what actually makes you feel seen, supported, and appreciated. That's what this is all about. These green flags are just a roadmap to help you spot those feelings when they show up.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. Of all the things we talked about, which green flag matters the absolute most to you? Because just knowing the answer to that, well, that's the first real step toward finding a connection that doesn't just look good on paper, but actually feels good.